class. My informative speech will be on obesity. The numbers are staggering. The death toll rises and rises each year. Many of you are already thinking COVID-19, but I'm here to talk about a different type of epidemic. An epidemic that has been on the rise since the 1960s. I'm here to shine some light on the Western world disease called obesity. It's no surprise as you look around and realize the ongoing conflict we face today in America. How did we get here as a nation? What contributed to this way of life and food consumption? As I prepare for a program in health sciences, I have learned a great deal of information on how being overweight can affect us as humans. Everything from our quality of life, relationships, and mindset. I would like to elaborate and inform you today more about the complications of obesity, highlighting data on deaths and main causes of the disease. Nearly 160 million Americans today are classified as obese or overweight. The list of complications that develop from the disease are overwhelming. Folks that become morbidly obese begin to suffer medical conditions such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, certain cancers, sleep apnea, with other breathing problems, and gallbladder disease, just to name a few. Yes, there are more. The CDC has recently done a study on people who have been infected with COVID-19. Out of 148,000 patients that contracted the virus, researchers found that 78% were admitted to the hospital, placed on a ventilator, and ultimately died due to a body mass index over 25, putting them in the obese category. Unfortunately, obese people have had high death rates even before COVID-19 became an issue. On a global stage, obesity is linked to more than 2.8 million deaths per year. The cause of death usually is due to the underlying condition. Obesity is also the second leading cause of preventable death in the United States. That shows, just like tobacco or heavy alcohol consumption, obesity is a choice and can be prevented with proper measures taken to control it. A good question to ask is, how does a person even become obese? Sure, sometimes certain people have genetics against them, but how has it become an epidemic in the United States? Our recent culture is giving young people the disadvantage. Cheaper alternatives to food have become more readily available. It's sad to say that if you want to eat healthier in America, it's going to cost you more. A lot of young families opt out for the cheaper and more convenient alternative when choosing what to eat. Instead of shopping around the perimeter of the store, it's a lot easier and cheaper to choose processed foods. Most of these foods are filled with artificial hydrogenated oils and foods that are substituted with high fructose corn syrup as for a sugar replacement. This all contributes to weight gain. Kids today are also not as active as years ago. We live in a different world that tends to be a lot less social and untrusting. I believe this is a terrible recipe to try and end the obesity epidemic. These habits and behaviors are learned early on, and with the recent coronavirus pandemic, it's making it even worse. So all in all, I've mentioned obesity as a serious issue in this country if we choose to acknowledge it or not. The complications of underlying diseases it brings are life-threatening. It's important that we make the choices to stay healthy. People now have technology at their fingertips. It's as easy as hitting a button to have your groceries prepared for pickup or delivery. Fast food has never been so convenient to consume. Fear of contracting a virus is keeping people out of gyms and children out of school to get in proper physical activity. If it wasn't hard enough to fight obesity, these luxuries will ultimately contribute to the problem. Thank you.